Hello all, welcome to the session on elementary signals. Elementary signals or standard signals serves as a basic building block for the construction of more complex signals. They are the primary constituents of signals and systems. We already learned that based on nature and characteristics of signals in time domain, it is classified into two, that is continuous time signals and discrete time signals. These elementary signals can also be represented as continuous time and discrete time signals. So the elementary continuous time signals, which we will be discussing first, is represented here. The first one being unit step function, then there is unit ramp function, unit parabolic function, unit impulse function, sinusoidal function, real exponential function, complex exponential function, rectangular pulse function, triangular pulse function, signum function, sinc function, and Gaussian function. So first let's move on to the unit step function. A step function is a type of elementary function which exists only for positive time and zero for negative time. If a step function has unit magnitude, then it is called a unit step function. It is represented as u of t for the continuous time, and it is condition for satisfying the unit step function is u of t equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for t less than 0. This is a graphical representation of a unit step function. As we can see here, it has an amplitude of 1 and it is 1. It remains as 1 for all values greater than 0 and 0 for less than 0, t less than 0. Then there is delayed step signal and an advanced step signal. In case of a delayed step signal, the value is represented as u of t minus a, where a is shifted from the 0 position, t equal to 0 position. It is shifted by a value of a to the right. The condition for satisfying this is u of t minus a equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to a and 0 for t less than a. In case of an advanced step signal, here it is represented as u of t plus a, where minus a point is considered. From this point, that is u of t plus a equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to minus a, and it is 0 for t less than minus a. Second one is the unit ramp function. Unit ramp function is denoted as r of t and has a unit slope, that is slope is equal to 1 for the case of ramp function. It can be represented as r of t is equal to 0 for t less than 0 and t for t greater than or equal to 0. Here we have a delayed unit ramp signal where it is delayed by a value of a. It is represented as r of t minus a with a slope 1. The condition for satisfying the delayed unit ramp signal here is r of t minus a equal to t for t greater than or equal to a and 0 for t less than a. In case of a unit ramp function, the amplitude varies linearly. It can be obtained by integrating a unit step function. That is, a unit step signal is obtained by differentiating a unit ramp signal. That is represented here. R of t is equal to integral of u of t. Unit step signal is integrated here, which is equal to integral of dt, because for t greater than or equal to 0, u of t is equal to 1. Hence, we get r of t equal to t. This r of t can also be represented as t u of t, or u of t. The step signal can be represented as u of t equal to differential d by dt of r of t. Third one is the unit parabolic function. It is also known as a unit acceleration signal. It is denoted by the letter p of t, where the condition for satisfying the parabolic function is p of t equal to t square by 2 for t greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for t less than 0. Here we have a delayed unit parabolic signal where it is represented as p of t minus a as it is delayed by a value of a. P of t minus a is equal to t minus a the whole square. So instead of t, we are putting t minus a the whole square by 2 for t greater than or equal to a and 0 for t less than a. A unit parabolic function can be obtained by integrating the unit ramp function or by double integrating unit step function. That is, p of t is equal to double integral of u of t dt. That means integral of u of t dt, integral of u of t, as we know it is r of t. Then this is written as integral of r of t dt. This r of t is then given the value of t for t greater than or equal to 0. Thus we get the p of t as t square by 2 at t greater than or equal to 0 values. The fourth one is the unit impulse function. It is the most widely used function. It is used in the analysis of signals and systems, denoted by delta of t. This function is also known as Dirac delta function, and it plays an important role in signal analysis. It is represented or defined as integral of minus infinity to infinity delta of t dt equal to 1. This is the representation of a unit impulse function, that is, from the point t equal to 0, this will have the value 1, height of 1. Delta of t is equal to 1 for t equal to 0 and 0 for t not equal to 0. The unit impulse function delta of t can be represented as a limiting case of a rectangular pulse function. So as we look into here, the first figure is a unit step signal u of t with an this amplitude 1 is also shown here. This u of t signal is first shifted by a delay of delta, that is u of t minus delta is obtained here. Now we have to subtract this u of t minus delta value from the u of t signal. That is u of t minus delta. We obtain a rectangular pulse like this with a value of 1. By changing the height of the signal, that is by amplitude scaling, we replace this 1 by delta. Then this signal will be represented as 1 by delta into u of t minus u of t minus delta. From here, as delta tends to 0, we can understand that as delta tends to 0, 1 by delta will tend to infinity. Thus, delta of t will be equal to limit delta tends to 0 u of t minus delta the whole by delta. What we can understand from here is that the width of the pulse will be equal to 0, that is delta is equal to 0, which means the width of the pulse is equal to 0. That means this pulse exists only at t equal to 0. Also, the height of the pulse goes to infinity. 1 by delta is the height of the pulse and it is going to infinity. This could also make us understand that the area under the pulse curve is always unity. It is always unity. The height of the arrow will indicate the total area under the impulse. Next, we have a delayed unit impulse function, that is from the position of 0. This is delayed by a value of a. Delta of t minus a is equal to 1 for t equal to a and 0 for t not equal to a. Properties of continuous time unit impulse function. The first property of a continuous time unit impulse function, it is that delta of t is equal to delta of minus t. This represents that the unit impulse function is an even function of time. Second property is integral of minus infinity to infinity x of t delta of t dt equal to x of 0. Otherwise, it can be written as minus infinity to plus infinity x of t delta of t minus t0 dt is equal to x of t0. The third property is the scaling property, where delta of at, as the time is scaled here, delta of at is equal to 1 by modulus of a delta of t. Fourth property is x of t into delta of t minus t0 is equal to x of t0 delta of t minus t0. It can otherwise be written as x of t into delta of t, which is equal to x of 0 delta of t equal to x of 0. Second and fourth properties are different cases of shifting property itself. X of t is equal to integral of minus infinity to infinity x of tau delta of t minus tau d tau. It represents the convolution property of unit impulse function. Fifth elementary signal is a sinusoidal function. The general form of a sinusoidal continuous time function is x of t is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, where a is the amplitude of the signal, omega is the angular frequency in radians, and phi is the phase angle in radians. As the sinusoidal function is periodic in nature, the time period t can be written as 2 pi by omega. Here we have represented a sinusoidal function with x of t is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, where the phase angle of phi is given and time period t is equal to 2 pi by omega is also shown. Sixth one is the real exponential function. The general form for a real exponential function is x of t is equal to a e raised to alpha t, where both a and alpha are real in nature. This has three main cases for representing a real exponential function. The first one being taking alpha equal to 0, that is in this equation x of t is equal to a e raised to alpha t. When we take alpha equal to 0, we obtain the signal x of t as a constant amplitude function, so constant amplitude signal for all values of t as it is represented here. The second case is when we take alpha as a positive value, that is alpha is greater than 0, then this equation x of t is equal to a e raised to alpha t will become positive in nature, that is the exponent, it is exponentially growing. The signal is exponentially growing, while the third case in which alpha is taken as a value, negative value, that is less than 0, it is exponentially decay in nature, that is opposite to the second case. Next is a complex exponential function. The general form for a complex exponential function in continuous time signals is given as x of t is equal to a e raised to st, where a is the amplitude and s is the complex variable, with the representation of s as sigma plus j omega, where sigma is the real part and omega is the imaginary part of this complex variable. Here x of t is equal to a e raised to st. By replacing the s expression in this formula, we get x of t as a e raised to sigma plus j omega into t, which is further splitted into and written as a e raised to sigma t e raised to j omega t. By expanding the e raised to j omega t equation by Euler's formula, we write it as a e raised to sigma t into cos omega t plus j sin omega t. So there are six different cases for the complex exponential function. The first one by taking sigma equal to 0, when as we know s is equal to sigma plus j omega. First we take sigma equal to 0 and omega also equal to 0. Then the equation for x of t will be equal to a. Thus we get a constant function, constant signal at all times of t. Second case B, where omega is equal to 0 and s is equal to minus sigma. The real part is taken as negative. Here we obtain a negatively, that is an exponentially decreasing signal. The third case is when omega is equal to 0 and s is equal to sigma. S is taken as positive sigma. Here we obtain an exponentially increasing graph. The fourth case is when s is equal to plus or minus j omega and sigma is taken as 0. The real part is taken as 0 and the imaginary part is considered. We obtain a sinusoidal signal in this case. Just replace those values in the x of t formula and we'll get the answer. When sigma is equal to 0, next case is when sigma is less than 0 and s is equal to sigma plus or minus j omega, then we get the signal as an exponentially decaying sinusoidal signal. Then last case, the sixth case is when sigma is greater than 0 and s is equal to sigma plus or minus j omega. Then we'll get an x of t signal opposite to this case E, where here it is exponential, where here the sinusoid is decreasing or decaying, here it is increasing or growing. Next, the eighth one is a rectangular pulse function. It is denoted as a rect pulse or the simple t by tau, which is equal to the condition 1 for modulus of t less than or equal to tau by 2. It is 0 otherwise. Rectangular pulse function is an even function because it is symmetric about the y-axis. Next is a triangular pulse function. It is denoted like this. The triangular pulse function t by tau condition is 1 minus 2 modulus of t by tau for modulus of t less than tau by 2 and 0 for modulus of t greater than tau by 2. Here the y-axis is triangular function of t by tau and the x-axis is time. The 2 points are represented as minus of tau by 2 and tau by 2. This is also an even function of t because it is symmetric about the y-axis. 10th one is the signum function. It is denoted as SGN of t. Signum function SGN of t condition for satisfying is 1 for t greater than or equal to 0 and minus 1 for t less than 0. The signum function can be represented in terms of the unit step function as Sgn of t equal to minus 1 plus 2u of t. Next is a sin c function. Sin c function sin c of t is equal to sin t by t for minus infinity to minus infinity less than t less than infinity. This function, the sin c function, oscillates with a period of 2 pi and decays with a increasing t. The value is 0 at n pi, that is when n is equal to plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, etc. This is also an even function of t. 12th one is a Gaussian function. It is denoted as Ga of t is equal to e raised to minus a t square for minus infinity less than t less than infinity. It is represented like this. This Gaussian function is very much important and useful in probability theory. Thank you.